what's up? This is SilverC Review. Last time I talked about not doing an introduction section and just getting straight to the movie, but I decided it's actually kind of a good idea, that way I can go back and talk about anything from the previous video or answer any questions or anything like that. So there will be an introduction section, and something I wanted to correct from the last video is on the jokes and quotes and stuff. I think I said something like, what was it? I didn't create them, but I picked them out. And that's not really the direction I was trying to go with that. The quotes specifically are ones that I highly agree with. Like I said, I live my life by them, so I could defend them. Like I said, they're not made by me, but they're very valuable to me, so that's why I'm sharing them. And the jokes are ones that I really like, so I didn't want you to get the impression that I'm just finding these as a gimmick to throw them out there. I'm just Googling them right before I do the video and tossing something out. These are ones that I've put a lot of thought into. Like, I didn't create them, so I didn't put that thought into them, but I thought about them a lot. And I've read them a lot, so that's why they're there. I know the video is still kind of low on these. I might eventually buy a mic if this takes off. I don't think they're overly expensive, but we'll have to, that'll be a lot longer away. And I plan on doing this every week for the first few months and see what happens. If people like it, if they start listening to it, then I can start doing maybe 2 a week, because it doesn't take a whole long time and I don't really have to edit the video. But for the time being, which look, I should be brighter in this video. Actually, I might be too bright in this video. But for the time being, I'll probably do it on the weekend and then post it the first of each week. I'm always open to comments and recommendations on movies you want to see me watch, on segments I might need to integrate. If there's something wrong with the video I can fix, anything like that. I tried to do images in the video and I couldn't really figure it out, so I ended up doing the little cards at the top, which is what I'm going to do now. Again, if it starts to take off, if people actually like the video portion of this instead of just the audio, then I'll look into some sort of video editing software that I can actually add images and make it a little bit fancier. But for the most part, and what I'd like for this to do, is this will just be the video portion of the audio, so that way you can go and see if you're listening to it and something doesn't make sense, you can go watch and see exactly what was going on. So, and everything I share is just my opinion of it. I know some of it sounds negative, especially like today's, but it's not. I'm not saying that you won't enjoy the movie. I'm just saying I didn't enjoy the movie, or if I loved a movie. When I love a movie, usually I feel like you probably will at least be slightly entertained, so that's why I do the recommendations. But just my opinions, so not to be taken seriously. Obviously, I don't know anything about movies. I said that in the first one. And I think that is it for the introduction, so let's move into the movie section. This movie was Dinner with Beatriz, and I really did not like this one. I kind of liked my time back from watching it. Score 1 out of 10 from me. I went into this movie thinking that Beatriz was going to be this nice person that was going to run into this terrible person, and they were going to have a battle of the intellects and try to come to... She was probably going to come to a realization that she can't change them. You can't change people like that, or you can't change people at all. And I mean, think about it. Think how hard it is to change yourself. Just change something you do, and then try to do that for someone else. Like, when people try to change you, it's not going to work out. But anyways, the more I saw of her, the more that kind of vanished. Like, her being a good person it just kind of went away. Like, I'm not saying she was a bad person, but she wasn't this pure intellectual person that I thought she was going to be. She seems to make everything about herself. Anytime there's a conversation, she goes straight into a deep story about herself, and that's fine if it's like a short story that has a lot of meaning. And it was just weird that she didn't understand when people wouldn't really care about her story, or they'd cut her off, or they'd make a joke, and it was almost like she was sharing a part of herself, and she couldn't understand why they weren't accepting it, which doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm very introverted. I value meaningful conversation, and I gain energy from being alone, and I spend energy on conversations, whereas extroverts gain energy from conversations. So that means that I'm not going to waste my energy on someone that I know doesn't care. That's why I hate small talk, because it's a complete waste of energy. I don't talk to a whole lot of people, and it's just, that's the way it is. Like, I know most people don't really care. Like, they're nice. I'm not saying everyone is mean and everything, but it's just not valuable conversation, so I don't even bother. And I especially wouldn't do it with a stranger. Like, someone I had just met that day, I would not, like, I can understand her talking to her clients that way, but these other people she had just met, and she was already talking to them like she'd known them forever, and then not understanding why they couldn't accept it. And I don't know, that's just not something that I would ever do, and didn't understand. So, again, on the her being a pure person, and the entire time she's drinking alcohol, which I have nothing against alcohol, but that's not really something I would see her doing. And also her smoking at one point. And it just seemed like the deeper into the movie we got, the less she was a pure person. And I mean, she's does massage therapy, and she seemed to live her life pure, and she seemed to care about her animals and stuff. So I don't know if that was supposed to be the point of the movie, that someone, sorry, something's moving over there, it's distracting. I don't know if that was the point of the movie, that she was just fading away from her normal because someone had killed her goat, or if she just couldn't handle everything, and this was a movie about her losing control, or what. But I mean, even then, you think she'd always default back to her core values, and I'm not sure if they were good, if she was always putting it on a front or what. But one thing that really annoys me about her is I hate when people apologize profusely and then do the same thing again. Like, I've been a manager in several of my jobs, and that makes it so difficult because you can't, they make you feel bad for trying to punish them or trying to correct them, but then they go and do the exact same thing again. And oftentimes, after like the third time, then you're super angry, and maybe you go further than you would have in the first place. It just makes it feel like that's a bad personality trait. And that's exactly what she does. Every time she apologizes, like she really means it. And that's, I guess, what it is there's just no meaning behind the apology if you don't change your action. So, didn't like that at all. I thought it was weird that the only two options she saw was, like, violence or running away. Like, there was no... She didn't really get into any deep conversations with them, or it was just she immediately got emotional and violent, and then she was like, oh, I can't handle this, and I'm just gone. And that seems like a very shallow personality trait. Now, I know if it's something that really means a lot to her, which it was, then I guess that's understandable that she'd get mad so quickly, but it's still not a very good way to live life. I thought it was kind of cool how towards the end of the movie, when she's walking out into the water, it showed the fire of the lanterns that they were setting off, and it was kind of interesting how it was like between a fire and water shot. But I didn't really understand what was going on with that. Like, he kind of looked back like he knew something was going on, but they never really relayed anything to that. It's not like he had an epiphany, or he just, I don't know. There was no point to that him looking back and her walking out into the water. And also, did she kill herself? What was with the ending? I mean, is she just suicide, or that blew me away. Like, that was when I was like, I want my time back for watching this movie. That was so stupid. Like, I can't stand when movies don't have a halfway decent ending. Like, that's, a lot of times we remember the endings, and that's how it plays a lot bigger role than any other part of the movie to me, because it's the last thing that happens. And she just kind of goes into the water, and I don't know if she drowned herself or if she was just needing to go for a swim. I mean, she had talked about stuff flowing to the water, and so then I thought, well, maybe she's like a water spirit, and she's like one with Mother Nature, and she was sent to vanquish this evil, and whenever she wasn't able to vanquish it or wasn't able to turn the tide, water, she went back into the water and she had to return from where she came, or something like that, or I don't know. That was like a sci-fi version of the movie ending, but I didn't like that at all. Oh, and I also thought maybe she was like a agent for Mother Nature, and she was trying to gather information. So maybe she didn't fail. She was just trying to get the information about this guy so Mother Nature can fight against him. That was another sci-fi ending. But I didn't really care for the scene. Also, I forgot about this part, but where she killed him and then it was just a daydream. What was the point of that? Like, I know she wanted to do something like that, but for her just to do nothing after that, or not to realize, or not say anything, just like run away, I don't know. I really didn't like that. I looked up online to try to find a meaning for the ending, and apparently there's not a solid meaning either. It was one of those things where open to interpretation, I guess. And I really dislike stuff like that. If you're gonna make something, I don't like a lot of art, I guess, because of that. Like, I don't know. I don't see a lot of meaning in art. Like, you have to show me the meaning. I'm not a creative person. I can't see stuff like that. So, that is why I did not care for this movie. And I guess that's it for Dinner with Beatriz. So we're going to move on to the movie recommendation this time. It's going to be Across the Universe, another 2007 movie. I'm going to read about it. It says, songs of the Beatles provide the sonic framework for this musical tale of romance, war, and peace. British worker Jude comes to the U.S., meets a carefree college student and his sister, and falls in love with his sister, and then they go on an adventure. It's based in the time of the war and the hippies, and it kind of follows them with the Beatles soundtrack throughout all the different areas they go, and how they get separated and reconnect, and the graphics are really cool in this. I really like the Beatles songs, but they're not upbeat enough for me to listen to them all the time. So the graphics in this, they really help me endure the music, or like the music better, because I'm able to watch the graphics, and that's why I like the movie so much. And this is probably one of my favorite movies. Like, I've probably watched this movie more than any other movie. I could watch it almost every day. It was neat how all the people were connected in the movie, how they come from very different lifestyles, but they all kind of connect. Should have brought some water. And I think that's it for that one. Go check it out. I'm going to re-record the jokes and quotes in the ending because I got to coughing, and allergies are killing me, but it just, I tried to work through it. I didn't really care for it, so usually I won't re-record stuff, but in this case, so we're going to go into jokes and quotes. So, quotes, perhaps we should love ourselves so fiercely that when others see us, they know exactly how it should be done. And the most dangerous risk of all is not doing what you want on the bet that you can buy the freedom to do what you want later in life. So the jokes, what is E.T. short for? Because he has little legs. Why did the tomato blush? Because it saw the salad dressing. Alright, that's going to be it for now. Next movie will be Wind River, which I did really like. So, tune in for that. You can find me on Twitter at SilverC_review. I'm also on Facebook /SilverC_review. And you can get my audio version on SoundCloud, Buzzsprout, and Podomatic. That's it. Take care.